Hello all, welcome back to Career with Vasanth YouTube channel, previously known as UncommonGeeks. My name is Vasanth. I hope you all doing well. Today with me I have Praveeen. Praveeen is from Tamil Nadu. More about Praveeen, he himself will be saying. As you know, this is a series of mock interview where we are discussing various different topics. And the right way to get use of this mock interview is like whenever I ask some question to Praveeen, you can pause the video and try to answer it by yourself. Let's say I ask him a coding problem, you try to solve the coding problem on your own. So that way you're going to actually get benefit out of this. And for some reason, if Praveen do not answer any questions in the video, I'm going to record a post video where I'm going to explain answers to that. If Praveen answers all of them, then post video will not be there. Please watch the video till the end to get to know more about the post video is there or not. And this video as a whole is going to be a combination of three things. One is a scenario driven question followed by basics of JavaScript and React. Finally, we'll end the video by machine coding and my feedback. Okay. And Praveen, if you can introduce yourself, we can get started.
Yes, sir. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to have a mock with you. So, basically, myself, G. Praveeen Kumar. I have completed my graduation in the year of 2020 from the University College of Engineering, Kanchipuram,
Okay.
specialized in mechanical department. Post the graduation, I got placed in an MNC, and the office space will be in Bangalore.
Okay.
And I'm working with that MNC in the networking and security field for around 3 years now.
Mm.
That I'm more towards the development side, so I just want to switch my career to the development rather than going in networking.
Good. So just for
That's all
context,
about.
good, Praveen. Thank you so much. For the audience who are watching, right? The Praveen has completed his mechanical engineering and he has learned the React by himself by watching the videos and other thing. As is clearly told, he's working on networking domain on his company. And now he's trying to change his job probably or eventually want to change his job with React and front end skills. Let's see how his knowledge is there. And if you're somebody who's also from a mechanical background and trying to change to IT, please mention that in the comment section. Again, if you're from Tamil Nadu, that also you can mention that in the comment section. Okay. Now, let me present the whiteboard as the usual way of how I would start an interview, Praveen. Okay. So this
Okay, sir.
time, let me ask you a very simple question where, let's say one of the common thing that is present now on most of this e-commerce application or on any other sites like social media is the type ahead system. Okay. The type ahead is nothing but where you will search something. Okay. Whenever you search something, so you start getting the results below that. Correct? Like for example,
Okay.
I'm just drawing to make it little quick. Okay. So where? Okay. So what will happen is, let's say this is like result 1, result 2, result 2, and this is result 3. Okay. It's going to keep it very simple. Let's say this is the search bar, Praveen. You can unmute yourself. Okay. Let's say
Sir,
this,
yes, sir.
yeah, this is a search bar of any website, let us, either e-commerce, social media, or anything. Okay. So where user is
Okay.
searching something here, and whenever user is searching something, basically we are giving a list of results that is potentially that he is looking for. The simplest example is, let's say you go to YouTube and so search for career, correct? So the one option
Okay.
is career guidance for fresher. Another option is career guidance for experienced. Another option could be career with Vasanth, which is my YouTube channel, correct? So multiple options will be shown on the screen, correct? So let's say we have to build this feature, Praveen. As you know, user can type something and you have to make an API call to get the results and show on the screen.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not too concerned about like how backend would process this and send the result. That part is fine. Just from the client side, you tell me if you have to implement this, what all things comes to your mind, Praveen?
Yes, sir. So basically, when the user tries to type something and we need to fetch some data,
Correct.
like we can do it in some other like some ways. Like for every keystroke, we'll be making an API call and we will be suggesting them something.
Good. Okay.
And I think that will not be the optimal approach
Correct.
because like a number of API calls will be
Correct.
large.
Correct.
So we can implement a concept of debouncing here.
Good.
So where we can reduce the number of API calls by a delay. If
Hmm.
users delays the key press event by a particular timing, we can call the API and we can give them the suggestions.
Correct. Okay. See, one of the technique that you're proposing for a better rendering here is a debouncing. Correct.
Okay, sir.
Where I'm just noting it down here. Okay. So where
Okay.
one technique is debouncing, correct?
Okay.
Well, instead of making API
Yes.
call for every time whenever user types something, we are going to give some delay and then we are going to make an API call, correct? What other things
Yes,
comes to
sir.
your mind, Praveen? Anything else that comes to you where you could optimize?
Yeah. Other thing, what I can think of is we can use the concept of throttling as well.
That's fine. They basically are more, both are similar actually, correct? Anything else
Yes, like
in your mind, Praveen?
to fetch the data and
Yeah, I
give to
mean,
the user.
yeah. So as you told, the thing that we need to do is whenever user types something, we need to make an API call, get the data, show on the screen. That's the minimum that we need to do. What are all the ways with which we can optimize this? Or if you're building this autocomplete as a system, if you're building this, what are all the ways that you think optimizing it? One, you told debouncing, which is 100% correct. Anything else?
Okay. Let me think about that, sir.
Sure, sure. Take your moment.
So, but for every keystroke, we should not able to suggest that. So we need to optimize that. That was the ask, right?
There is no one ask as such, Praveen. Okay. You
Okay.
basically, this is a system that I want to build.
Okay.
If you want to optimize anything, you can optimize like that. Correct. Because the basic flow is simple. Enter something, make an API call, get the data, show on the screen. That's the most basic thing that we need to implement. Correct.
Yes. Yes,
What
sir.
are all the ways with which we could optimize? You can please tell me.
The one thing I can think about this is debouncing and
Sure,
throttling, but
sure.
I'm suspect that we can use something called the React lifecycle to do that.
Yes, yes. I mean, whatever you told is correct. There are some more things as well. If audience know other than debouncing, what all optimization technique can be made, please mention that in the comment section. Okay. Now, I'll ask you a couple of basic questions on the React and JavaScript in general. Then probably we'll get
Okay.
started with the coding. Okay.
Okay,
Are you
sir.
aware of these primitive and non-primitive types in JavaScript?
Yes, sir.
Tell me, what
The
are primitive types and what are non-primitive types?
Yeah, the primitive data types consist of number,
Hmm.
big int, boolean, string, undefined, and symbol. Where
Good.
the non-primitive data types consist of arrays, object, functions. So basically, all will be considered as objects.
Yes. So what is the primary difference between primitive and non-primitive, Praveen?
Your primitive data types is used when we want to store a single value,
Hmm.
and the non-primitive type is more like defined by the developer. We can
Hmm.
store multiple, and the other difference is primitive will be stored in the stack, where
Hmm.
the non-primitive will be stored in the heap memory.
Got it. Sure, sure. Any idea, Pravi? Like, why do you think there are two types, primitive and non-primitive? Where putting other way, the primitive types have a individual memory location, correct? Like, which is like they are non-mutable. Like basically,
Yes,
once you allocate a memory, they're non-mutable. Whereas non-primitive types are usually mutable, correct? Why do you think?
like
Hmm.
yeah, why I think that is required is we are not sure about what how much memory it will take for the non-primitive type, and we are sure that this much memory space is required for the primitive data types, so that will be stored in the stack. But in heap, like we can expand the memory,
Correct. No,
and
what
that's
I'm
all.
saying is correct, Praveen. Like heap you're storing because we could expand because there is a liberty compared to here. But why
Yes.
do you think these arrays and objects are necessarily kept in the heap? Like why can't array or object be a primitive type? What is the problem making them a primitive type?
Yes, sir. We are not sure how much memory space it would take. We can't initially tell that this much
Correct.
memory space it will take.
Correct. I agree. That is the reason why they are non-primitive. Or even because that's one way. And another thing could be like usually the assumptions are like it's like quite larger data in case of arrays and objects in a practical application. So it's better to keep them in a non-primitive because if you start storing them in primitive, then we would end up like using all our memory.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes.
Sure. So Praveen, are you aware of controlled components and non-controlled components in React?
Yes, sir. So
Please tell.
controlled components. Yeah, controlled components and non-controlled components are both way of handling the input element.
Good.
So in the controlled component, we will handling the input element using the React use state.
Hmm.
That code will be stored in the React, so that input will be stored in the React, and wherein the uncontrolled component that will be stored in the HTML. Like
Correct.
whenever we are clicking on the submit button, we can able to perform the
Correct.
actions which we required. But in the controlled component, we can do some other things like in-field validation,
Correct.
like conditional rendering of the submit button and dynamic input. So this much more thing we can do with the control component.
Correct. So putting another way, controlled component is more like a React way of handling. Uncontrolled or non-controlled is like how traditional HTML, JavaScript way of handling the forms. Correct?
Yeah, it will. Yeah, in uncontrolled, the input will be directly kept to the DOM.
Yes.
So in controlled, we will be having it in the variable which we are storing that.
Good. Good. Sure. Can you present your screen, Praveen? Let's start with a simple problem now. Okay.
Okay, sir, sure.
So, Praveen, the problem is very simple. I'm gonna orally explain it to you, and I can put it in the chat section as well. Okay. You can just copy the question from chat section if you wish, and you can use it. The question is,
Okay,
simple calculator. Build a basic calculator that can perform addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. As simple problem as that. Okay. So where
okay,
I would require something similar to a Google calculator or a typical calculator UI, where there's one search box on top. We have the buttons 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
okay.
6, 7, 8, 9, and 0. And there'll be is equal to button. And we have like plus, minus, star, and divide by 4 operations.
Plus, minus, multiply, and divide. Okay,
Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, 4 operations will be performing. Okay.
okay,
So as you just traversing yourself or transitioning yourself from network to React, Praveen, I'll give you a few hints while solving this problem. Divide the entire problem solving into two parts. One is building the basic calculator UI. That's part one. That's going to take some time.
okay,
And the another thing is where how to take the right input from user and storing it. Third thing is where you're going to evaluate an expression. Correct? I'm sure probably the evaluating expression you might need some help. First, complete these things and let me know during the evaluate expression where we could discuss further.
okay, sir. So I have some questions on that. So user needs to enter a value, and he need to click on the plus button, and again he need to enter some value to add that.
Nothing like that. How a typical calculator would work, right? Like if I can click on button two, and I can click on plus button, and I can click on the two again. It becomes 2 plus 2 is my expression.
Okay,
Got my
okay,
point, right?
sir.
For the
So I need to evaluate the result. I need to return that.
correct. So to begin with, let's not use a calculator help. Let's see, imagine everything user types on the button only. Like 1, 2, 3, 1 plus 2 plus 3. Then it becomes like expression is 1, 2, 3. All the expressions are created just by manually pressing on those buttons, which are actually numbers. Got my point?
Okay.
Can we
Yes,
start?
yes.
Like I told, like let's start with the UI building first. Once after we build the UI with like button click events and etc., where how to take the like finally showing whatever user has typed, then we could discuss further. Okay. I don't think there is
Okay,
input.
sir.
Input is not required because user only press this button
Okay,
to
okay.
form an input. Okay.
So I need a buttons from 1 to 9 and the operation of 4.
Yeah. You should first build that calculator layout, complete calculator layout. Praveen.
Okay.
Like
And
how a typical calculator would look like, right? The top is where the expression would show. Below is where 987, 654, and 123 will have a 0 also is equals to, and the right hand side we can have plus minus star multiplication button. I mean, I'll give you liberty
okay,
of building the UI however you want. Okay.
okay, sir.
And
So
audience who are watching, is this a very interesting question? You can also solve the problem in parallel. You can pause the video for a while, go back, solve the problem, and come back and see how Praveen has solved. Okay. You have a last 5 minutes, Praveen. Okay.
okay, sir. I'm just including it. Okay, here I need to show it. Paragraph tag. Yes, sir.
Press star. There are multiple problems, as you also know, like we could keep entering multiple operations here, like plus, minus, star.
Yeah,
That's okay.
yeah,
I know that
we can
problem.
have a form. Yeah, we can have a form and we can
Let's
keep.
try to evaluate the expression, Praveen. Let's say we are ignoring all the potential errors, okay? Or probably the evaluating expression would take more time. Let's look at something that is very easy that we could do. Okay. At least see the is equal to whatever you are doing, that is equal to should not be visible on the screen. That's not the intent. Correct? Whenever is
Okay. Got it.
entered, we need to actually perform some things. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll only give you around 3 more minutes where whenever is equal to
Okay.
is entered, is equal to should not be shown on the screen. Okay. So where you have another paragraph tag that will tell like the result of the operation. Definitely we cannot compute, but that should be visible whenever somebody presses is equal to. Okay. And as soon as they start typing again, that result of the operation should become hidden. Correct.
Okay.
This is what I want. But we should also show whatever
Yeah,
you.
I need to. Yeah, I
Hmm.
need to pass this
Yeah.
in this arrow in this function. I need to pass this value everywhere. Like set the state to false
Hmm.
so that it will be hidden.
Hmm.
So can I do that, sir?
See, what you're doing is you're setting a value everywhere, line number 17, like 20. What you're doing is you're setting to set the value, correct? And
Yes.
whenever you press the is equals to, what I want to show is like result of the operation, correct?
Yes.
Whenever user presses is equal to, you're doing that. And whatever the set value that is already stored in the part of the value, correct? That
Yes,
any
sir.
you can keep showing that like line number 12, can you scroll right? Scroll right,
Yes.
scroll
Yes.
right. So where the result of the operation will be value, correct?
Okay.
And where I'm coming from is whatever the expression that you're showing, right? Whenever user types something, that and the result should not be like mutually exclusive. You can show both. Like for example, earlier what we are showing 1 plus 2 star 3, we were showing 1 plus 2 star 3. Whenever user click on is equal to, we can just show the result will be below that. Correct? User starts typing again, you remove that the result of the operation. And you can just show the expression. Getting my point, Praveen?
I'm a bit confused, sir.
Let us keep it very simple. Let's say you
Okay.
even I'm making it very even more simple. Whenever user types something, you show like 1 plus 2 star 3, you're gonna show. And whenever user
Okay.
clicks on is equals to, you are showing the result of the value.
Okay.
Result is the result. Correct?
Yes.
Can we just do that? Right now, if can you refresh on the right hand side?
I think this button I need to.
Just you can just refresh on the. Can you click on that here and yeah.
Yes, sir. I click
Now
that.
click on like 1 plus 2. So
1
basically, it is
plus
not
2.
shown. Can you make sure it shows whatever you're typing it shows on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 1 plus 2 is shown. Correct. So it's coming as a result of the operation will be 1 plus 2. You know, you hit, whenever you hit the is equal to, it is shown. Correct.
Yes.
Earlier, whenever you typed, it was showing.
Yes, sir. Like we have a state value which will change to false, which will change to true when we are clicking on this equal button.
Sure, Praveen. You can stop sharing. Okay.
Okay.
We'll discuss the things in detail, like what collectively feedback I'll give you. But
Okay, sir.
now
Sure.
coming to the interview feedback, Praveen, right? Basically, I was not expecting you to be fundamentally this strong, being very honest. But all the theoretical questions that I told Praveen, you were able to answer them fairly good, which is I feel like you have studied good amount of the basics very well, which is something expected to clear the interview, which is very good. The other things where I feel the area of improvements, Praveen, is I think this I told multiple times. Every time whenever a machine coding question is asked, ask the question about extremities. I told an expression, you have to user will type an expression and you have to evaluate that expression, correct? What if user type
Yes.
30 digit number and they ask you to evaluate? Will the calculator would work? What is the extremity? How many number can
Okay.
be added? You should ask that question. Right? What is the minimum? What is
Okay.
the maximum? Such question should be asked. Okay. And the number that you rendered, 1, 2, 3, that can be like further optimized by using a component. correct? And third, very most important thing, not just you, have seen many making this mistake where they do not think the complete solution in their mind before starting. They start coding and eventually they figure out there is a problem and let's use another variable or another thing to solve this. So try to figure out the complete problem in your mind and then start coding, Praveen. Okay. And even the
Okay.
result portion that I told, I wanted to see that expression and followed by the result. Probably there's a bit of a confusion with which you are not able to build that. Okay. So overall machine,
Yeah.
I feel, Praveen, there's a decent scope for improvement. Solving more problem will definitely help you there. Otherwise, the rest of the
Okay.
theory looks good to me. So I'm not making a post video where I'm going to explain answers to something that you did not answer. Okay. That's all from my end, Praveen. I hope you also enjoyed the session, a mock interview. Have any
Yeah,
closing?
sure. Yeah. Yes, sir. I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, I know. I made a further improvement in the coding.
Yes.
So I'll do that, sir. I'm more towards learning about the fundamentals of the JavaScript. So I
Fine.
was not
Good.
flex to it.
Good. But I feel like you as an inspiration to a lot of people who are basically looking for transition from mechanical to IT. I think they will look up to this video. And audience who watch the video, if you like the video, please like the video and comment whatever you felt honestly. Share the video with your friends so that they can also get benefited. I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.